Alright, welcome to the On of VOD review. At least I think it's an On of VOD review. Maybe it's like just a main support VOD review. I don't really know what you play on Kings Row. Either way, we're here with Salt, our supposed flex player. So, yeah, let's do some VOD reviewing. Oops. If they ran a Widow, you might have died in that back rotation. Luckily, Weeblunt's frames were in the grave, and I don't play Widow. Okay, so initial positioning. So you have a Brig, which is very great against any dive. So it's okay to play more aggressive sightlines. Because okay, they're not running they're not running a sniper, and they're not running a dive that can really threaten you with a Brig. So initially, not knowing what they're running, I'd want to see you position yourself, I'd say, a little farther back, just in case your front line gets pushed super hard. You're a little too far forward, but otherwise your general positioning's okay. But once you learn that they're not running any snipers, so in which they basically have, like, there's nothing here that's really a threat to you, especially with Brig. Like, yes, there's Genji, but, there's Brig. So you can go, like, with super nice sightlines, even like here, like, it's doable. Or any high ground sightlines, like here, if they're not running any snipers, which they aren't. So we'll see how that pans out next fight. Oops, go away. Because, like, notice how with, like, close range targets, it's a little kind of wonky. Okay. Well, no, let it pan out. Alright, let's go back. Okay, so the rotation to hotel is scattered. If it's not scattered, I don't know what the hell Junkrat's doing. But it should be scattered, like your team's rotating. So as soon as you figure that out, you should not be walking forward. Just instantly start going back. And then here, as they're rotating, so especially because there's no diva, you can kind of go for super aggressive nades, right? So they're coming like this. Ryan's shield. Yeah, let me get a flat on the ground, or at least close to the ground. Ah, gross, get up my face. Okay, so Ryan's shield, when he's standing even like halfway on the stairs, it's gonna look kind of like this. Maybe even up here, actually. But either way, if you land a nade like here or here, it's gonna purple. It's gonna purple a hell of a lot of them, and it'd be huge. I wonder if you actually hit Junkrat there. I'm curious now. Not necessary to the VOD review, but I'm curious. It's necessary for my curiosity. CSI. Oh, you totally hit Junkrat. Unfortunate for tick healing. Okay, and now because you haven't used your nade offensively, and like you're so low, and your Ryan's also fairly low, if this Ryan right here, if you didn't get that armor pack, like, look how close Ryan is to hitting you right now. But luckily you just got the armor pack, but if you didn't, he probably would have brushed and killed you right there. Actually, does he brush you? Nah, I think he does. CSI again. Yeah, totally does. Oh, but you get healed by your armor pack plus grenade. I see. So yeah, the nade usage was a little late. Because if you're not going to use it aggressive, then you might as well use it when your tanks are going to be fairly low. In poke fights, okay, so during this poke phase, you should be looking for a few things. So, first priority is burst damage, which Widow took, right? She got hit by a concussion. Concussion mine. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Then you can be looking to do, oops. What did I do? Okay. Then you can be looking to do damage, which you can't really do because your sightlines don't allow that. Which I guess is fine because there's not, like, these sightlines are a bit wonky on streets. Or you can be looking for offensive cooldowns on isolated targets, which there aren't. And you go for one here, which is fine. Okay, that nade was great. I mean, you missed, but, like, the timing was good, right? The Ryan's shield's down, they're losing. So I like that. And then Ryan used his purple. Or Ryan, Junkrat.
It's going to be okay.
It's gonna make you feel better.
No one can hide from my
Someone better
sight.
get a fire in because I'm on a roll. Check this out. Okay.
Okay, here, I don't know what you're doing. It looks like, this looks like a setup for a sleep shatter, but your Ryan doesn't have shatter. Maybe you're banking on the fact that he will get shatter? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's suspicious and it's fishy. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it. Okay, now he has shatter, but you could be looking to heal him because he's going to die.
I will keep you here.
And if you were going for a sleep shatter, then Ryan will be positioned farther back. Yeah. I mean, you went off that grab and the nade was pretty good. But either way, I don't know. I don't really like that whole flanking positioning. Like, what if, you know, Junkrat came from the right side, or from your left side? You know, maybe you get the sleep off, but if you don't, you know, you're dead. And if you had been going for a sleep shatter, then Ryan would have positioned himself farther back, so it doesn't look like that's what you're going for it. So I'm not sure if I don't really like that. Okay, tire 5 to Lucio, which is real bad. Okay, that was fine. You looked for the died to a total thing. What can you do?
I will keep you here.
Okay, you rotate left, which is super bad.
You look tired.
Because, okay, maybe this isn't your fault because the team didn't call which way to retreat, but you're split, and that's no bueno. And you have to invest in nades solely for the sake of not getting killed by Genji. Oh, they're still look shit.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, Nano might actually save this. Yeah, it does. Junkrat needs healing. Where is Junkrat? Oh, all the way up there. get that you're going for cleanup, but you don't need to be this close, right? You know, you have all that range for a reason.
I need healing.
It's gonna make you feel better. Boy.
You're going to live.
Okay, so you know your Ryan's shield down, but they don't have a shatter. That's fine.
You're going to
Tired.
live.
Oh, right there. Tiger finds two. Can't forget 5 here, I think. Yeah, he does. Positioning was fine at the beginning of the fight.
Bad guys. Heads up.
60 seconds remaining.
Alright, and I like this place, it's fine. The issue with this positioning though is, say if your team gets pushed back, right? Where are you going to go? Like, if your team gets pushed back this way, because they still want to hold the cart, you know, you're gonna go here? You're gonna go with them? It's a bit of a sketchy rotation. So you can actually play up here in this window against him concept. They have a Genji, but you have a Lucio. This is an okay position to have, and then when your team starts going back, you can make this rotation, which is a lot shorter than whatever this is, or even you can, like, no, never mind. Yeah, because like if you're here, like maybe if you're here, right, and you're a little farther forward, then this rotation is simpler. But either way, being here and trying to rotate this way will smush you into your front line, which is never what you want. If they're retreating, that is. Oops. Fuck it. Ugh. Okay. Ridiculous the fact that they're being grabbed. That's pretty huge. Or is that? Wait a second. Just kidding. Hold on. I totally fucked that. I thought. Ugh. Okay.
60 seconds
Go back.
remaining.
There was not a reason. Wait. There was not a reason not to sleep. You should have slept. You know, it's a nano Genji. A sleep is huge value. Even though you get the grab off of it, you know, what if you missed? What if, you know, your that plan went horribly wrong? Okay, pushing some gears to the Rhine is fine.
What?
Okay, so your team's down. Mainly off the back of that tire.
Healing sleep. Fucked off.
Hit yourself before you took damage. It's fine. Okay, even though Genji's deflecting, you know, you could totally kill him with nade here. Just off the back of that wall. He's so low.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, you nanoed your Reinhardt, but you did that after 2 people are already dead. And yes, they're down Mercy, so effectively you're only down 1. But still, down 1. The enemy team is just in too good of a position for that nano to get any value.
Watching your back. The payload has reached the edge. Much better.
tend to nade yourself too often. Like I've seen like 3 or 4 missed nades that went onto yourself when they should have either been saved or been in other places. That's something to write down.
I keep you here.
60 seconds remaining.
Fire at will! Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, wait. Before we go into the... Oh, Jesus, what did I do? Oh, wait, no, I was fine. Okay. Okay, now, let's start here, and just watch.
Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield. That's the best you can do.
No, I keep you here.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, so 2 things. First thing, notice... Okay, I don't know if this is your team's fault because they didn't call it out, but everyone's on that side. So, I don't know the true answer, but either way, you're not with your team. But I can't totally blame that on you because I don't have all the information. But, like, right now, like, between when I said, like, watch this, and right now, like, you haven't done much. Which I understand it's the posture phase, but you need to constantly be looking for opportunities to like squeeze out as much value as you can. So there's a part where you're like checking for Junkrat in the window, but he's Junkrat, so if he dives you, maybe he kills you, but he dies anyways, and you have a team to call that. So just try to focus, try not to get too distracted by, you know, little things that aren't too big of a threat. That's kind of been a theme I would say. And you want to sleep like the easiest time to sleep. You know there's a nano blade coming out. Right now. This is the easiest time to sleep. First of all, Genji can't do anything. Second of all, Genji's falling through the air. Third of all, Genji can't do anything. Like, right now, I have like 2 options of what I can do. I can move left, and then I can move right. I can't really, I mean, unless I don't have my, like maybe I can jump up, but why would I do that? I can't deflect, I can't dash. During this sheathing animation is the easiest time to go for that sleep. Like if you just aim it slightly below Genji, he's gonna fall into it. So, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's better than doing it once he dashes through and everything just goes to shit. And right here, that's a much harder sleep than when he's pulling into this.
Fire at will! Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, and there you could have gone for another splash and make him pop that wall.
Get in there.
Next up.
Talk about that.
You've got to be okay.
Okay. Play after. How long is this going to be going on for? 20 minutes.
Attackers ready for battle.
Do some brig reviewing. It's not gonna matter much because brig gets changed. So let's see. Can I review this? Not brig. You play brig this whole time? Okay, you do. Alright, what's front of this?
Hello, ready for
Mace
battle.
to the face. Mace to the face.
But either way, I should probably talk about Anna before I forget everything. Okay, so. Oh god, that ticking sound.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Defend
so.
objective A.
In general, your play is interesting to me because you don't have like this one like huge mistake that you keep making. It's like a lot of little things here and there, like small missed opportunities. So if I were to put, if I were to shine a light on the biggest or the most common mistake, it's that your starter positioning, like before the fight begins and when the fight's beginning, is pretty good. But if you're ever forced to retreat or reposition, you tend to put yourself into really bad places where you either can get cornered or, you know, your Ryan can't shield you. So try to plan out a retreat beforehand. Be like, okay, this is where I'm starting. If shit hits the fan, this is where I'm gonna go. Rather than, oh no, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna move in this direction. And the other thing would be splash nades. You know, just incorporate that into either your mindset or just your general kit as a thing you can do. Especially like, you know, if there's a Ryan and there's no diva, that's like splash nades are super effective. Talked about sleep timing. Just when you know they have nanoblade, as soon as he dashes into the air, you should be looking up and going for that sleep. Sometimes you ADS when I think it'd be easier to scope. And I think that's it for Ana. Yeah, in general, just like small things here and there.
Get up the stage.
We're running a really interesting support combo, and I don't really like it, but let's see. Okay, here, since your shield's full, you can be looking to third-person peek the scout. Go back.
Taking damage. Take some armor.
Okay, right there. So we're at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. So remember that number. And the engagement begins right now. Okay, so from here until that point, which is 8 seconds, for 8 seconds, you are not healing anyone with your Inspire. So, when you're in this engagement beginning process, you should be looking, you know, they're not running dives, so you don't have to worry about dives. There's very little that you have to be worried about. But if there's one thing that is super important, it's you have to have your Inspire up. Always be thinking on Brig. Proc my Inspire. So when you're pushing up, you know, find a target and be like, okay, I'm going to whip shot him and get my Inspire. Like right here. So many targets. And also there, I would have liked to see you timed your bash with like maybe the Roadhog cooldown, that's probably the easiest one. Or Ana dies. How low is that? Okay. Now, I like that you push up when Ana's dead and you haven't find it dead. Okay. And you don't need to bash in reaction to the Roadhog with you. Because, you know, you bashing versus you shielding, the damage that Roadhog's going to output into you is not really going to change. I mean, sure, you're going to take more shield damage like, to your actual body. So you want to be looking to time that with his take a breather.
Payload is on its way.
Join with me. Get off the stage.
Okay, and I get this is kind of small, but there is no downtime in Overwatch. Even if you're being a payload bitch, you never know what can happen. Maybe there's a flanking Zenyatta with an orb volley around the corner. It's either way. Like, look, there's a Junkrat and Soldier flanking right now.
Rally to me!
Wait. Just kidding. Okay. You're like shield hopping back. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. Actually, you know, that's fine. I'm not gonna say anything.
My ultimate ability.
That rally was decent. You went a little aggressive, like too aggressive even for rally. Yeah, you're definitely an aggressive bridge player. Like you frontline a lot, and like, yes, maybe nade would have still hit you, but like. And like, I'm not looking to point at specifics. I'm looking to point at general concept of like, you grab them, but that doesn't mean just mindlessly swing. Because again, there's very little you have to worry about. So you have a lot of time to just think about what can kill me, analyzing the situation, analyzing threats, all of that. Oops, wrong one. Oh, still wrong one. The jig is up.
Good as new.
My will.
This is small, but when there's like instant damage abilities like Riptire, try to bait that Riptire into detonating onto you by dropping your shield and then, you know, flashing it up.
The payload has reached the chip. The payload moves in separate.
Have your shield.
Get off the stage.
Okay, now you're playing really far back, which is the opposite of what you need to be doing. Into, like, Ryan's there, and he was fairly healthy until, you know, he fucking died. But like, yes, they're ulting, yes, it's a lot of damage, but you don't need to play that safe. Because like having a general like positioning of like an off tank is pretty good. But I'd say the main mistake right now in Brig is you kind of seem to just chuck the armor pack a little randomly. Like I see a lot of armor packs into like full health heroes, which I get that you get like that armor trickle, but like still, that's not. You really want that armor pack. Like right there.
Cease your resistance.
Definitely your cooldown management needs a good amount of work on Brig. Your whip shots, you know, need to be hit earlier and need to be planned better. Your armor packs you need to put more thought into armor packs. Like I get that when the fights get chaotic, like say if you're playing goats versus goats, right? You know, fights can get super crazy. And I understand if then maybe there you like don't get full value off an armor pack, but here like in posture phases sometimes you're like wasting an armor pack. And like lastly, shield bash. You're getting very little value off a lot of your cooldowns on Briggs. Bye-bye. Zenix steals that ult kill. Alright, so that's the end of this. Okay. You know, that on at the end, that doesn't really matter. Just peeking into it. Super high burst without being behind the shield is never a good idea. But anyways, points being, on already talked about, yeah, so Brig. Cooldown management, general positioning is pretty good. Sometimes you're a little too aggressive when you don't have support, and then you're a little too passive when you do have the ability to go aggressive. But I think that will come with more practice. So mainly, I'd work, like, your Ana's better than your Brig. So I know that cooldown management's going to change a lot because Brig's getting updated. Because the current use of armor pack is for burst healing, right? If someone gets low to, I don't know, a far direct hit or a dive or something, that's when you armor pack. Like using armor pack just for that extra little bit of healing is getting very little value compared to what value you could get. And yeah, that's about it I have for you. So you're a player that I'm going to look at a lot more because you play like 3 different roles and that's all crazy and whatever. But for now, that's all I have for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.